Hi, my name is Seaton from Musical Youth, and you're listening to DJ Terry on Six Towns Radio.
Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
Right, time for a special guest on the show. Going over to the telephone line today because I'm talking to Denny Seaton from Musical Youth. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks, and you?
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
You were part of the generation that ruled the nation. You know, how could we not get you on?
One of them.
Musical Youth were massive in the 80s and thankfully still going today after you reformed a few years back. But let's talk about the hits, first of all, that, you know, got you off the ground, Pass the Dutchie. And the first thing everyone wanted to know, I can remember when it came out, everyone wanted to know what a Dutchie was, didn't they?
What, a Dutchie, yeah. And do you know what it is?
Is it a cooking pot?
It is a cooking pot, yeah.
Just how we talk up here, we say cooking.
Cooking, yeah. I got you.
And it was a number one hit worldwide, wasn't it? You must have been so proud.
Yeah, especially as we didn't expect to have a number one. And we never talked about having a number one. We just said, look, you know, in fact, when we recorded the single, we decided that, because we recorded it in the summer, in August of 82. And obviously you go back in September, don't you?
Yeah.
So when we went back in September, we all decided we were going to say nothing about it. Just in case it's a flop. Then you say nothing about it, nobody expects anything of it. So, yeah, that's what happens, basically. And by the time, that was the time when the chart came out on a Tuesday. So when it was released, it went to number 26, and then the rest is history, so to speak, but it just happened we'd left the school at the time to go and record the first album.
It must have been, like, so popular amongst your school friends, all of a sudden.
Yeah, some of them, you know.
A bit of jealousy as well.
Strange. Well, there's always jealousy, you know, kids. Kids and they, you know, we'd have some kids there that were absolutely static, and some were like, you think you know, but you know how kids are. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It
got some great inspirational lyrics as well. I think that's what was picked up on by a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know about inspirational, but how can I say? I know that through time and, you know, modern technology, i.e. Twitter and Facebook, there's been a lot of people from around the world spreading the love, saying you encouraged us to play. You know, we learned English listening to Musical Youth. We learned this, we did that. This is my first single. But, you know, so it's kind of humbling more than anything. Very humbling.
Yeah, well, I was 10 when that came out, so it was great having some kids in the charts who were, you know, my age. And you went on to have so many hits, but you did get to meet some great people, didn't you? Yeah,
some fantastic people. Obviously, I think some of the biggest names in music people. Michael Jackson, spent the day with him. Janet, Latoya, Marlon, Jackie, Tito, Randy, Jermaine, all of them. Quincy Jones, Steve, obviously we recorded with Donna Summer, you name it. And then obviously some of the biggest reggae stars, apart from obviously Bob Marley. Stevie Wonder became a friend of the band and still is a friend of the band today. Paul McCartney. In fact, I know there's a photo of Junior, Michael and Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson after the Brit Awards with Linda McCartney as well.
Yeah.
So, again, you know, meeting our peers was another thing.
Wow,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
You split up in the late 80s and you carried on making music yourself and producing, etc. What made you, first of all, get back together in the early 2000s?
Well, to be fair, what had happened was, when I left the band, I went off and studied acting. And then I ended up touring Ireland for 6 months. I lived in Southern Ireland touring with a backing band from Birmingham. So that got me the bug. And then I ended up going out to Los Angeles for about a year, playing football with Andrew Ridgely and Rod Stewart every weekend in the meantime. But I was recording with Stevie Wonder. So when I came back, I decided, you know what? I really want to put the band back together. So I put a band together. And then I'd been bugging Michael for about 10 years to come and play. And he kept refusing. And then one day he said, you know what? Yeah, why don't we go for it? So we ended up doing some shows on one weekend in New Jersey. Or Guernsey. And he enjoyed it so much. He came to me and he said, why didn't you tell me to do this earlier? I'd only been bugging him for 10 years.
What had Michael been doing in that time?
he set up his own production company, so he was producing and remixing. So he got into that side of it.
A lot of people did go into that in the 90s because technology had changed quite a lot, and production was massive in the 90s, wasn't it, in remixing?
It was, yeah. And if you're a keyboard player, it's a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where the catalyst came from. In so much, I was gigging with my band called XMY, and I just said to Michael, look, you come on board, you can just say it's musical use, it's you and me.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, so to speak.
Yeah.
We ended up touring America with Apache Indian on the West Coast, and then we toured Slovenia as well.
And you did a couple of 80s festivals, didn't you?
It was 80s specials at Butlins, which we still do to this day.
Yeah. And more recently, you've done more festivals.
Yeah, we do festivals. I mean, we've done more festivals this year than ever before. And obviously, reggae music at festivals is a given, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Totally. Yeah.
And we had a blast doing, Festival, Camp Festival, Doomtown Fair. So then with the three festivals, Festival was the culmination of the festival season for us. And in the meantime, we've been recording the new EP, which it's a series of EPs called When Reggae Was King. So that's the whole catalyst for that situation.
Yeah, and we've had one of them as Record of the Week, your version of The Harder They Come.
Thank you very much, yes. And the story behind The Harder They Come, if you didn't know, and the reasoning behind When Reggae Was King. Harder They Come, released in 1972 from the classic film The Harder They Come. And I call Jimmy Cliff the godfather of reggae music, And with Reggae Was King EP series, we chose I took a decade, which was between 1972 and 1982. And the songs that we chose for the first part of the EP, the first two EPs at least, were all songs that came exclusively from Jamaica to the UK. So Harder They Come being one of the first original reggae records that were out there, that's why we recorded that one. Yeah. And then we recorded I Shot the Sheriff, Money in My Pocket. I Shot the Sheriff by, obviously, Bob Marley, king of reggae music. Then we got Money in My Pocket from Dennis Brown, who we in the industry, in the reggae field, call him the crown prince of reggae music. Yeah. So we've got all these names for all these artists, like Gregory Isaacs was the cool ruler.
Yeah.
Sugar Minor was the dancehall bubbler, we called him. And Sugar Minor was he championed the band. So
some great names, and these are people you grew up listening to, aren't they?
You grew up listening to and actually met in person and knew them personally. So it's kind of nice, just recording these songs. And when we play them at festivals, people actually go to listen confident. So yeah, there's a whole themed event about When Reggae Was King, and the culmination of 1982 was because obviously that's when we started our career. When we came into popular music's eyes, so to speak.
And a lot of great reggae artists have come from the Midlands, haven't they?
They have. We've got some fantastic reggae artists. So obviously you've got Musical Youth, UB40, Apache Indian, who I previously mentioned.
Yeah.
Steel Pulse was the first recipient of the Reggae Grammy Award and played at Bill Clinton's inaugural when he was first time president. Bitchy McLean, Taco Banton.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some fantastic reggae artists coming out of Birmingham.
So what's next now? So you've released the EP, or you're releasing the EP.
The EP, we've released the first single after the EP.
Yeah.
And the second 4 singles or 4 tracks for the EP will go up before the end of this year. And then we have recorded another 5 tracks for the 5-track EP, this is. But it's a whole series. You got EP1, EP2, EP3, EP4, and you can keep going. But then you'll start coming into stuff. By the time we get to EP3 and 4, you'll have the Stubby When Reggae Was King. So the songs will be songs that were recorded by British artists, sent back to Jamaica. But if you can understand the philosophy behind it, the philosophy is these 10 songs are first from Jamaica to the UK. Second 10 songs are from the UK to the Jamaica, but in the reggae style. So, yeah.
I like what you've done there. I do like what you've done. You've got a show in London, haven't you, in the new year as well that you
We have the 26th of January we played the Jazz Cafe, which is an iconic venue in London. Some of the greats have played the Jazz Cafe. I actually went to see Christopher Croft there. He's a good friend of mine. So, yeah. we're gearing ourselves up for that. And then next year, obviously, it's a festival again.
Exciting times for you. I'm loving it. I'm glad that you're back, and I'm glad you sent us the songs. And I wish you all the luck in the world with it, mate. Thanks for coming on the line today.
Yeah. No, well, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're glad to be out there. You know, it's something we grew up doing. So we've been doing it for 32 years. So it's kind of nice, or 33 years, I should say, in my case. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still a youth.
I was going to say it could be the musical maturity or something like that.
I know. Well, I think I'll stick to musical youth, I think.
Yeah, you do that. Thanks a lot, mate.
I like the youth part.
Yeah.
Okay, well, take care. Thanks for calling. Hopefully you give us record of the week again.
Yeah. You keep sending them and I'll keep playing them.
Yeah, we'll do that. Stick to that one.